Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Great breakdown on the desk. Lots of time to talk about that one since our first game was wrapped up 2-0 by Gambit. But now we've got the top of Group B, Spirit, who were remarkable, but did struggle at times. They weren't clean the whole way through, Jason, going up against NAVI, who yesterday, despite not winning against Gambit, did look pretty solid and pretty impressive. Certainly Simple showed up to play in that series.
Yeah, he did. I mean, certainly the most remarkable thing about Spirit in this event so far throughout the group stage is that they didn't drop a single match because they looked like they should have at least been upset once, maybe even twice throughout that group stage play. So the fact that they're able to make it through is undefeated is really nice. But now you don't get a chance anymore. You're in the playoffs here. We just kind of mentioned, even with Navi known for being upset here and there, losing a map that they probably shouldn't, even for some slow starts here and there, and that whole conversation that is brought up every time Navi's in the server. You know, Spirit with those same issues, like this isn't a game that Spirit can come in if they want to take advantage of that and come out on top. They can't have any poor maps. They can't have any like lackluster performances, and that's what really scares me, despite some of like the obvious skill on this team.
Yeah, there's tons of skill on this team, no question about it. And certainly we've talked about the online era. I know Duncan touched on the fact that NAFNI's not really played at any big lands. So until we get, excuse me as I smack my microphone,
Nice.
until we get that sample from him, we don't really know what to expect from Gambit entirely online. And obviously we also know that Navi was decent on land before. So there's a lot to change, but the inconsistency is certainly true. And also the fact that, as Duncan touched on at the very start of the show, I feel like I'm not giving Vedetta any credit right now, but but Duncan did allude to the fact that there is this tendency in the CIS where, and we saw it this week too, that no matter what, number 1 in the world, number 2 in the world, VP number 6 in the world, these other teams in the region know how to play them and have a good sample against them and can certainly surprise them in these situations. So you're right, Navi can't let their guard down going into this at all.
Yeah, I feel like it's a completely different game that I'm watching when I'm watching like two CIS teams play. Like, you know, Navi versus Gambit, and Gambit, you know, versus a team like K23, or even throwing Virtus Pro in the mix. Like, it just feels like that's a different game than when you see like the Navis and the Gambits against like some of the other European and North American opposition. So they certainly have their own kind of style in this region that they're all well versed in. It's pretty incredible actually to see how many teams from this are really in the top 20 from this RMR. So.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Once again, the desk touched on it as well, and I'll bring it up just because it was a talking point for us yesterday with Navi. The veto process that we just went through, not to like dive too deep on each map, but again, it's like I can't, you know, it's hard to tell sometimes because Navi has a different level of competition. But yesterday picking Dust 2 with only a 56% win rate, today picking Mirage when Spirit actually has a better win rate on it. So I mean, there are. It almost feels like Navi, one of the other issues they have is just a map pool that doesn't seem to give them
I agree.
a great home map.
I agree with that. I think that's the fact of the matter is, and they touched on it as well on the analyst panel, is, you know, a map like Train that's disappeared. Navi obviously was very good on Train. They led on that map for a long time. And then I do agree with what James Banks said. You know, where's Overpass gone? Because that was a map that Navi also was starting to get very decent on and actually getting some great results. So the fact that they're not using that, I mean, you have to look at either a Vertigo or an Ancient to be brought in, because if you don't start running one of those two and you're this predictable, then yeah, tier 1 teams around the world are watching, and they're going to be well aware, especially if we get to a major, that they don't have that depth.
Yep, certainly that's going to be a weird point for Navi, is which of the maps do they try and bring in to feel a little bit better on. I do like that I mean, look, they floated it knowing Spirit would probably take away Ancient, the Dust 2, which we saw yesterday, but Spirit just such specialists on that map. So yeah, curious places with the map pool, but I still expect Navi to come out on top of this. I think there's just way too many question marks about what we're going to get out of Team Spirit, and their struggles against teams that are definitely, you know, the lower tier teams that Navi would obviously smash. So you know what, Matt, I'm going to bring it back again today. I have Bitwatch. You know, that's going to be another point for me. I really like seeing him have some good games for Navi throughout the group stage. Simple and Electronic, we know everything there is to know. We talk about them endlessly. I want to see what Bit is going to be able to bring to this team and why they felt confident bringing him in as a permanent member.
Yeah, there's always been sort of an X factor on the Navi side, right? I mean, when Simple's leading, that's one thing, but he often, I mean, I say he can't do it alone. He has in the past, but he needs a supporting cast in a lot of these situations.
You can't win tournaments alone. You can win a match alone.
That's a good way of putting it. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's Electronic was that guy for a long period of time, but now Bit's been the element that really, when he shines, Na'Vi just do so well. He's so good at anchoring situations. He's playing on the offsite frequently. You know, multi-kills all week long so far from him. And yeah, I like that you call it the Bitwatch. It's the Baywatch of Counter-Strike in some ways. Just as glamorous, too.
Yeah, we need the slow motion camera angles on that as well. Maybe the speedos. We'll bring it all back. We'll make it real good. Spend a lot of time in the sand.
I'm down. I'm down with it.
Yeah, we are just the 10th player did just get in the server just now, so fear not, my loyal viewers who have tuned in to watch the RMR. We're going to be getting this underway very, very shortly. If you're just coming in for the Na'Vi match, if you're a gigantic Na'Vi fan and you missed the earlier matchup, Gambit did take on and defeat K23 2-0. Mirage was an interesting affair. So was Inferno. Probably a series that you could go back and watch real quick if you'd like to. But good showing from Gambit to make it onto the next map or next stage of the playoffs.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And yeah, upper bracket finals. The reason that they do this double elim in the playoffs rather than a straight bracket is because for the RMR, we actually have to have a clear number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and so on to assign the correct amount of points. There has to be no discrepancy in who finishes where to make this the most fair system possible to get through to the major. And I think if we remember correctly, Jason, there's 5 spots available from CIS from the RMRs for the major, which is significant. And I think proper thing, as we've talked about as well, there's so many teams right now inside that top 20 position. We've got world number 1, we've got world number 2, and yeah, there's been majors in the past when they had Na'Vi and that was about it. And Gambit obviously surprised us all in 2017. We've had teams like Quantum Bellator Fire show up at times, Vega Squadron, but we've never had that consistency from this region that we're seeing right now. So hopefully that can translate when we do get to the major for them as well. As I do see 10 players in the server. So Jason, we should be underway any second. We'll start out, as you say, on Mirage.
Yeah, any moment. Spirit's going to be on the CT side as well. Yeah. Man, who are we looking at for Team Spirit? I mean, Dexter's obviously a big name. A lot of these names everyone already probably knows of. Mir is always super impressive for me. Magix has been a really cool revelation for this team as well.
Yep.
For some time now. So, I mean, he's always been fun to watch.
I think for me, the factor for them, whenever I've seen them play, in terms of being able to push them over the finish line, is Mir. I know Chopper can have impact, but Mir's the one that has to be very consistent for them throughout the course of the entire match for them to have a solid chance. And we did see them in one game this week, you and I. You may have seen them twice. I didn't catch day one, all of it, because obviously I was doing some other duties. But yeah,
I
Mir
did see
for
them on
me
day
is... Okay, well, I didn't. So there you go. You might know more than me, but Mir looked really good when we did see them, and that was a strong point for them.
Yeah, Chopper's the guy who can have like the impact when you need it. Mir's the guy who could like take over the game. So just two completely different kinds of impact between those two players. Yeah, and man, that first day, if we're gonna go all the way back to it, that was that was kind of the rocky start that made me really worried for Spirit throughout this RMR. Was that 5 overtime game against Entropic on Nuke. Now Entropic's actually come to be relatively surprising to look like, you know, they can actually do some damage here and there, which is really, really cool. But Spirit as well, I think outside of Dust 2, have gigantic questions when it comes to their map pool. You know, gigantic questions when it comes to being able to actually maintain and win matches that they should. They had a lot of close affairs this week that we thought they'd be able to breeze through.
Yep.
And good news, here we are. Freeze time is canceled, and we are going to go live into the Fistron. Countdown is underway right now. Team Spirit taking on Na'Vi for the StarLadder CIS RMR. And interestingly enough, Team Spirit, while maybe the underdogs in this matchup, have the number 1, the most RMR points of any team in the entire game, in the entire tournament.
Yes, and a lot of that has to do with the carryover from previous RMRs, which they were the benefit of. And yeah, winning their group. The seedings were done based on the previous RMR. That's why Gambit and Na'Vi both ended up in Group A. But we are underway in this matchup. And so far, Bomb heading over toward B is with Perfecto and Bit. In fact, it's going to take a left turn and go underground, swing back toward middle. Boomich at the top side. Be ready to try and battle, but it's Mir that's already worked his way up onto the catwalk, and he's not done there. He knows they're working out from underneath, but Dexter, despite getting one before that, realizes he's lost his teammate. As Mir goes down, we find ourselves 4 aside as Chopper sits back at CT. SDY's come over to play alongside him with the CZ-75. Now, keep in mind, Boomich just played that gun a lot defensively this week, and he's lost his ammunition and not been able to actually fight late in the round, so he's got to be careful, SDY, not to fire too often as Simple finds 2 kills in the round. Magic does the same, and he's got the bomb in front of him, so that might be more significant, as it's Simple and Electronic that have to go aggressive on both positions to try and hold it off. SDY gets Simple with the CZ, and Electronic tries to isolate himself by scurrying in toward jungle. In fact, he might even go for the flank through CT. He's got the bomb on the way by, and he's got SDY, and now it's a race to B, and Magic's just going to put himself up off the new bench to get inside the window, and that will allow a bomb plant to go down for Electronic, but mean that he's quickly on the case on the retake, and he's got armor, no kit. He's got a third shot. What a shot at that with the USP, and Team Spirit take the pistol.
Oh, that is way too close. Oh, that is so dangerous. What a big save from Magic's. Sorry, I just started choking right at the end.
It's all right. You were Team Liquid's coach, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, there we are. There it is. Ooh, that's a battle the whole way. I mean, from that CZ as well. I thought Simple was going to take over that round. The P250 up on the balcony as well. Like, those are sick angles to be able to protect and cover your teammates. Just too much pressure coming from Catwalk, from middle up connector. They weren't ever able to get that bomb planted safely. So good job from Magic's. That just a great double kill initially. 1-0 for Team Spirit.
So we have a good start, at least on the CT side. Bombs left intentionally back by the entrance to apartments by NAVI this time around, and we'll see if they can make anything of this as they look to play picks with Deagles, 5 of them. SDY with the MP9. Well, there's the bomb. There we go.
There we go.
Well, Dexter's going to get Simple to start it off. SDY, I was going to say, was just holding with an MP9, but Chopper's doing the same as we see it. Nice little boost up inside of the B site. Electronic. Can't get anything done. I like the addition of that bench in middle, by the way, Jason, because it means you don't need the boost to see Catwalk. And you can also jump yourself in the window now. It's a small detail, a small change in the map, but it's significant.
Yes, it is. It's created a new dynamic to middle, hasn't it? When you can self-jump into the window. 2-0, and the AKs are out for NAVI. We'll see what they bring into play. Dexter with the op out in the second round as well. Primed and ready to go. Smoke towards window. In mid already. Mir's gonna jump out, and oh, he's made the catwalk jump. He's there a little bit late, but he's got his gun out first. Oh, Boomich goes down as well. Didn't expect Mir to stick around for the fight. And I think Navi was trying to split towards the B bomb site very, very quick. And obviously that is just shut down with the single play from Mir.
Dexter looking for the aggression, and he'll catch Simple in retreat. Nothing found yet for NAVI. Goes back over to try and get bomb and fires back into the smoke. Needs to be careful not to take further damage from utility if they want any chance back into this round. Good shot. Finds Mir on Catwalk. Electronic. That'll open things up a little bit. Perfecto's even spot the flank as they go wide enough. Left eye versus MP9. And Electronic's left is 1-4. They've actually already started to isolate him and pinch with this gun. They want that AK gone. Careful not to give him too many one-on-ones. Dexter makes no mistake on the AWP. Yeah, not enough damage as well to the economy of Team Spirit to be really happy about that round. What a stop from Mir. That round was not lost, but I mean, what a huge advantage for Team Spirit right out of the gates. Mir shuts everything down. 3-0. Yeah, this play right here. First one on the Bit as he jumped up. Even dodging the flashbang. Bit wasn't ready for it. Boomich wasn't ready for him to be there, and Dexter adds one on top. Gives all the information of what kind of a play Spirit we're going up against. Pistols, Deagles, and a Tech 9 on Electronic. A little bit of utility for the Navi offense. And again, it looks like, you know, at least 4 players going to work together to take control of mid. Electronic going to support. There's the flash, 2 from underpass, 2 from top mid. As they clear out all their angles. Mid control is theirs, but where do they go from here? Well, we'll see if they can find anything, because so far no one's even peeked against it, so that's a little bit frustrating from Navi, putting so many players in mid to try and win out in exchange. Magic's has gone very passive at B, in fact, starts to work toward the arches. That smoke that was covering off Perfecto's position, now gone. Mir's still in window, and he's got the support now of Magic as well, so this could be very solid. Chopper would have to rotate around from Sandwich to support that, so they'd have a little bit more space, but they're going to make the noise running audible. Mir, he backs away and then comes out when his teammate takes the aggression, and they're sitting in the doorway. Magic gets all three. Mir got taken down with a rather nice shot, but the play was perfect. The crossfire between them, and Electronic trying to get something done now with the Deagle. Finds himself in a 1-on-3 upgrade to the AK, and I don't know if Magic knows he's dropped down. Surely he has to consider it. Smoke fades. Still he gets the response, though, Electronic, but he has to be very careful sitting in the same position, same angle, open to the catwalk, and the bomb is down in that position, so it's still an unlikely 1-on-2 with 16 seconds left. He either has to die now or save that AK-47, and I think he's going to go for the latter decision.
Yeah, certainly it makes sense. One more nade as well on Chopper. Ooh, actually, he could find him at the end if he just chucks it randomly.
I think that would be the spot I would throw it if I were him, but he elects not to. He goes for the M4 instead.
That's a little wishful thinking. Obviously, it's easy for us to say, ooh, just throw it towards the van.
Yeah, he's not Doji, okay? He's not that smart.
He's not the big man. Well, Electronic saving the gun. He's got armor already built up. He's going to want to put some nades behind it, but Navi's going to have another buy around that as well. We are going to get a short tech pause coming in, as you can see on your screen. Not a whole lot of production yet out of this Navi offense. 5 kills on Electronic, 3 on Simple, 1 on Perfecto. Look at the ADR on Boomich and Bit, though. They haven't really gotten involved in any of the action in any significant way. Even though it's only 4 rounds in, that's a bit rough. Here we go, round number 5. Navi trying to get rid of that goose egg in the scoreboard. Quick smoke to the mid window. Dexter is going to beat it. He's going to jump out as well towards Connector, preemptively smoking for a Molotov and eats a nade for his troubles. That's mid-control given to Navi by a fast, aggressive stance and opening.
Yeah, and I think Dexter got fortunate that Mir was able to get a flash out in middle to support him getting in Connector because he was spotted. But Bit was blind and couldn't get the response. SDY all the way through Connector is able to get the opening kill in the round, and it is going to be Boomich that goes down. As Team Spirit 4-0 up, and now in the second gun round have a 1-0 lead again.
You can see kind of why Boomich hasn't had a whole lot of ADR, things like that. Spammed through smoke from Ticket Booth. That's a brutal way to lose your life, and it's such an important round as well when Navi hasn't been able to get started in this game. So, Connector hit is what they call Electronics at A ramp, and they're going to try and bring these two pieces together.
Dexter with another. First in this round as he falls off of the AWP. Again, Navi just not finding the openings. Chopper's going to take down Electronic. Perfecto getting only one. Dexter was the one he found, but again, he got the contribution and the impact already on the AWP. They'll recover that and carry it over once more on the CT side. No kills yet for Boomich. No kills yet for Bit.
This is brutal. A brutal start. Only one player goes down for Spirit in that previous round. They're looking solid so far in the early stages. All right, this time with a half buy, Tech-9s, Deagles lining up towards the A bomb site. So it's full set piece. We're gonna try and use these pistols to move quickly to swarm into the bomb site and get past any of the defenses in. Chopper's going to back away, played a little bit passively. Dexter's here with the AWP, so they know it's a half buy. They're content to allow Navi to get the plant if that's what they need. They're going to try and get 1 or 2 kills on the entrance, but okay with playing retake.
Well, finally, we're going to see some straightforward aggression from Navi as they just march in toward Tetris. Smoke's still down. They get an angle on Chopper that puts him at 24 HP, and he will have to be very careful and very timid about re-peeking in that situation. SDY the same can be said. He definitely spotted the peek from Simple, who's now going to try and rush it over with the bomb, but he gets caught out. SDY makes no mistake of getting the headshot on the end. Pretty straightforward round, I think, at this point in time. As Chopper closes out the final kill, and only one going the way of Navi. 6-0? I don't know how I feel about this, Jason. Not at all what Navi needs to start.
You can't feel good, and it's just an extension of the conversation they had at the desk that we touched on briefly before the game began. Is the map pool for Navi, they don't seem to be necessarily comfortable with like the map pool that they're stepping into. This map they've selected is a solid map for Spirit as well. So walking a dangerous road at the moment, and in the early stages, they're paying for it. Mid control entirely for Team Spirit. A lot of smokes laid down there, but again, Dexter and Window, SDY, and Connector have all the information needed. Dexter, the smoke even clears, and he's ready to take an angle towards the right of the top mid boxes. Now, he doesn't have a smoke if they are to Molotov into this position, but oh, he's going to find Electronic, and now they can back away. He's got to run. He's got to get out. He burns for his trouble. They're happy with the kill in a 5-on-4. Oh, make that 5-on-3.
Yeah, absolutely. Dexter nades Bit to death. And Boomich will at least get in and find one, but immediately traded by Mir, who is inside of the ladder room. He's been playing that position quite a few occasions. That's Boomich's first kill as he gets off 007. It's still yet to find the scoreboard as Simple gets inside of the site. Chance to try and clutch this back. Simple knows he needs to take this game into his own hands at this point in time because so far, Navi cannot get the openings in Team Spirit's defense. Looking very resilient as the Molotov puts Perfecto back inside, and Simple's accuracy just not quite there. Perfecto for 2. But that's not enough because there's still 2 more alive, and Team Spirit get round 7.
And Navi's not going to be happy enough at this point with economic damage. This is still just not looking good. Hey, Bitwatch isn't going well. As we've highlighted a couple times. Still not going well from where I was at just 3 rounds ago. 0 kills. And Team Spirit's defense is just looks solid right now.
And Dexter's AWP as well. I mean, we didn't really touch on him. We talked about Chopper and Mir, but man, oh man, he's on 10 kills, 7 rounds in, and with an op, that's a good start because obviously it takes a few rounds just to get that weapon out. We're going to take a look at him again coming out of spawn. He'll hold at CT as Bit tries to line himself up, head down to cross, but Incendiary will push him back. The op beside him in the hands of Simple will try and open up inside of the site as well. I mean, not to take anything away from Spirit either. Yeah, we're talking, this is world number 2, Navi. We're talking about how they're not getting it done, and that's certainly one way to look at it, but Spirit's playing so efficient. Very, very safe. Although that time for Chopper, even though he wants the wide angle, a flashbang was all it took from Simple to catch him out. And that came from over top of A main, so perhaps an oversight in that position. Can't look away from those ones fast enough because he doesn't see them. It just barely gets forward. Remember, crosshair distance to where the flash detonates determines how blind he becomes, so the position might need to be evaluated as he never saw it, but went fully blind. Perfecto gets SD-wide. Now Navi have something to work with as Dexter wants to pull back in with the AWP. Doesn't quite get to the sandwich gap in time, but he'll Molotov that off instead to make sure that they can't stay put inside of it. Bit's not going to. He's already on the move, and Simple has the CT op on the ground as it's just Mir and Navi finally hit the scoreboard at 7-1.
I'm surprised that kill was like a go signal for Spirit to really try and retake that bomb site already before the bomb was planted. A lot of players go down. A very costly loss for Spirit as Mir just tries to back away to save this AK-47. He should be all right. I don't believe they're going to try and hunt him down. The money for Navi is equally garbage, or is very garbage. Well, a good round from Navi.
Yeah, super good round. I mean, getting in the site, getting the bomb down quickly. They found that entry kill by single use of a flashbang. Chopper gets caught off. But I was going to say, yeah, one player just on this side of the map at B, and underpass, in fact, for Perfecto. But at this point, Mir, you're right. They're not going to take this. It's not worth it on their side. And there's still so much money for the CTs. 10K.
It's going to get chewed into.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's going to get chewed into pretty hardcore after this buy right here. Like, surprisingly, like, that money's going to disappear pretty quick. They got a cushion of another buy after this if they were to lose. Mir saving obviously helped that, but yeah, they lost a lot last round. In that loss to Navi, 7-1, but Navi's on the board at the very least. So something to be happy about for the Navi side, the Navi offense. And again, you're going to head back, very similar style strategy. A lot of bodies over towards Palace, perhaps just one pop flash. Bits holding on to it, and here we go.
back off of it, catches out the Chopper reverse firebox, who was completely blinded. You could see it in the animation. And Dexter back toward window, wants to retake middle. His teammates already pushed up on catwalk as well. In fact, Mir's going to go all the way around this. They have an open A site. Mir's going to try and beat them back that direction. Boomich, good kill to catch out SDY in the underpass. Now Magic has to consider the fact that this could still be going back over toward B, but he'll realize now it's absolutely not. Bomb's already planted. He's just there to keep himself alive, and Boomich goes down at the hands of his AUGs. So, and with that, Navi are able to turn this around. And you're right, the money does get eaten into. There will be enough for a buy if they save Hero. Does he see it? Yeah, he does. Absolutely. Just fire at it. And good enough for the kill. Bit will fall. Quite literally, he's just going to slide down the ramp.
Yeah. His legs give out and he just tumbles.
Happens to the worst of us.
Well, back-to-back rounds won by Navi. Basically right off of the same tactic. This time the opening kill. Back towards Ticket. Or, excuse me, inside of the bomb site. 7-2. That's a pretty simple tactic to get it off of as well. And they just found a clean round for it that time. That kill goes down. Everyone else is locked out of the bomb site. They have to posture for a retake, and it's just too much to ask. So Spirit have lost a few to some nice, simple strats. Mir's going to make... No, he's not going to make the jump. He's going to have to drop an underpass. He's going to have to improvise. Yeah, mid control. At least top mid goes to Navi.
Smoke never came down in window, and I think that was his own Molotov, was it not, that he put there to try and keep the gap? Yeah, so he could make that jump, but it may have cost him, actually, in some of the damage dealt. And yeah, you're right, he doesn't make the jump, but interestingly enough, he's still in a relative position because, or a relevant position, I should say, because he's gone underpass, and there is two holding outside of stairs at B right now. Does he peek it? I didn't think he'd go with this. He is, and oh, absolutely destroys Bit. Bomb's down on the stairs. So he'll put fire on it for now, buy them a bit more time, but he can't really sustainably hold that position without control of middle, and therefore the bomb will be recovered, but this just makes things awkward for Navi.
Well, it might, I mean, look, there's this push in upper B. If Mir goes back and actually fights at stairs as well, this could be really cool. Double peek after the upshot. They tried to bait Magic's in, but Simple was prepared. And Dexter's going to stay far back. Mir knows he's going to live or die by these plays in the underpass at the moment. And it's death as Perfecto finds him. They get the bomb and they back away. Now all of Team Spirit is congregated towards the middle part of the map, towards the B side of the map as well. And Navi's relocating all the way around as Electronic is slowly creeping in and slowly clearing corners. And he's telling his teammates it's clear.
So Chopper working his way back in toward Connector. Dexter's on his rotation as well as he'll get towards CT. Very passive CT position because he doesn't know how forward. Navi is gone. Chopper gets Boomich. That's bomb. 8 seconds. They have to run to this. They didn't get the plant because he killed the planter, and that's exactly what SDY is going to do. 3 seconds. The round done on that alone as they have to kill Dexter, and he's behind the garbage. They had no idea they will get him after the time, but Spirit take the round.
Yeah, they do. They take it in a big way. That's a Navi loss if I've ever seen it. Painful. And Dexter does go down with the AWP, but he's got plenty of money to buy another one in this round. 8-2. And Team Spirit just pull the rug out from beneath Navi. That's brutal. I believe we're getting a tactical timeout. Tactical pause from Navi.
Yeah, let's talk that one over, boys. Electronic does what he can inside, but it doesn't matter if you can't protect the planters. So Navi 8-2 down, and already they're going to be staring down another eco if they can't win this round. Although they have the benefit of the loss bonus still being on 3 rounds now, so bomb plant would potentially spare them of that disaster, but they'll buy into this. Simple still has 6150. He's done well to hold on to his AWP and actually keep some economy, but again, Boomich, Bit, we mentioned it. They only have 3 kills combined still at this point in the game, 11 rounds in.
All right. Quiet, nothing crazy on the openings. Smokes in mid aren't being utilized by either side. Navi Keep going back to this play, this simple pop flash play to get some action at A because it's got them a ton of entries. This time it goes the way of Chopper, but 15 health. Oh, we didn't want to peek with that. It might have been perfect. Bit is so blind from that flashbang, but it's just not taken advantage of. The follow-up is, though. That's another kill for Chopper.
NAVI down 2 already. Very little position to work with. Simple checking back in toward Palace exit as well to make sure no one's come around. He'll hold A cave. Perfecto does have a decent position toward connector. I think he's actually just going to try and utilize bench to make sure Cat is cleared so he can start pushing that direction. Molotov to make sure of it as well, and Boomich inside of ladder. They're going to send 2 toward window, and that's the benefit of this new bench. Formerly that could only be 1. Oh, SDY. They didn't see him. And he's spotted Boomich out, so he's not only spotted him, he's been very patient to catch the kill as well, and Dagster was already rotating back towards CT as we saw. Chopper has elected to go aggressive and try and get into T-spawn. Dropping down though, Simple's ready for it, he hears him, but he doesn't have time to run it to B, so he still has to fight forward, if at all. And I think they're going to save this with 13 seconds left. Simple has the bomb, and he's heading toward Palace.
This is out of the timeout as well. This is not looking good for Navi. Their offense is not clicking at the moment. First, the timeout round. And now this one that just slipped away. Didn't look like, I mean, Simple couldn't even fight for it at the end. This is rough. Team Spirit looking good, and they're on point right now. This is the best we've seen them look all event.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned that they won Group B, but it wasn't exactly clean. This is looking pretty solid if you ask me.
That's what's weird about it, is that we spent all that time talking about how they looked lackluster. They didn't look, as play like they were playing as well as we know they could. And then they come in here and they're just battering Navi right out of the gates. So an unfortunate time if you're Navi to me to get a Spirit that's playing very, very well together. 10 kills on Magix, 10 kills on Dagster with that ADVP. Even Mir and Chopper, actually everyone's right up there. Everyone's in 3 frags of each other.
Yeah.
And it's still, Bitwatch isn't going to be winning any awards anytime soon. 1 and 10 on Bit, 2 and 11 on Boomich right now.
So 2 AK-47s, Tech 9s, and the AWP of Simple. Galil's picked up by Perfecto just at the end of the buy, so that'll add at least 1 more rifle, but they're going to drop bomb in the apartments again, and Bit's going very quickly, trying to get positioned toward the kitchen, already with the smoke inside of the site. Double need! He's tagged down to 21. Yikes. It's not exactly the way he would have started off the round by trying to be that aggressive. The pick was what he was after. He and Perfecto now head downstairs to wrap in the underpass and help Boomich take middle, but again, a passive mid from Team Spirit. We're either seeing them go all in, and we've seen them jump out the window a number of times, or they're just letting it be and kind of containing Navi.
Well, if you're Navi, I guess this makes sense, though. Like, these are where you got your 2 round wins were off entrances and kills that you found coming out of Palace at the A bomb site, so why not go for it again? Smoke thrown towards jungle is going to start pulling SDY in this direction. Bit has the bomb towards the end of underpass, pretty centralized. He could go anywhere. This is going to be a split towards the B bomb site, but Bit's got to be real careful with that bomb. He could also turn it into a fake.
Chopper gets the first onto Electronic. Again, the opening kill going the way of Team Spirit. They'll try and get through window once more. They know that Chopper's gone toward the A cave, but Dagster's there to cover should they wrap around too quickly. Unless they go low, Boomich is able to get underneath at this point. Bomb low. That incendiary should take down the planter, but not before the plant occurs. And Dagster actually gets him through the box for good measure, as well as adding one onto Boomich. It's all on Perfecto. Bomb is planted for him, however. Be sure to check connector. Mir gets the shot straight up. Didn't even need him to peek wide and walk into the AWP. And now it's 9-2. Spirit are 1 step ahead.
Yeah, Chopper played that round so well. The only thing he screwed up on is missing the planter right at the end at low HP. He missed all of his shots there, which could have just ended the round right out of the gates. Navi slow playing that round, but I don't think they necessarily wanted to. I think they gained so much map control, and for whatever, I think they were so confused because they hadn't actually encountered the defense. They're like so deep into the site, and they still haven't had to fight for anything, and they're just so confused of where the battle's going to come from. Spirit is solid, and they are off to the races. 10-2, Perfecto gonna pick it up and get shut down by Dexter.
So shut down by Dexter to start it off. Again, how many rounds is that now? They've had the opening pick. Pretty much all of them, I would have to say, except for one gun round that I can think of that Navi actually did win it by going up to a 5-on-3 situation. Overpass, our next map. Picked by Spirit, so we'll hope Navi still has some of their old overpass left in them. And then nuke to decide it. Didn't even get that far. Simple takes out Dexter. Now they're starting to pull the round back, having Chopper down as well. It's the man advantage with 57 seconds. Bit, he'll get magic. Only a second kill in the game for Bit, but this one may just be enough to secure the round entirely, as Mir and SDY have to sit back on this. Bomb's planted on A, and they're not going to challenge. The money has dwindled down, Jason, as you say. Despite that they're not winning these rounds, they're at least starting to get some kills on the board.
Yeah, but they need to take these away if they want that. The problem is they don't have the economy themselves to go for a hunt, so there's going to be another buy in the next run, and it'll be still strong. Dexter's going to have an AWP. They'll have enough rifles on the board to be deadly. That round's pretty cool. Spirit's actually just like maybe a hair's breadth away from winning that. Chopper misses a shot in Electronic, a headshot angle, but that smoke that Simple and Electronic threw onto the Palace balcony has a little gap in it that allows Simple to peek into the bomb site. Clean out that defense. So a third round for Navi, again stemming from presence and pressure out of Palace. This bad boy right there.
Yeah, that's pretty nutty. Just enough. Boop. Just a shadow to shoot at, a silhouette.
I was in Dexter's POV and Go TV, and I could not see Simple.
Yeah, textures one way or the other. I mean, look, it's part of the game, and it's going to happen, and players certainly found ways to exploit it and use it and be a little more aware of it, but sometimes it's a bit unfortunate that it's difficult to see one way and not the other. So the timeout this time, we'll see. Okay, we're getting a not ready call from Team Spirit, so this one looks to be technical.
Technical pause.
So it should be fixed relatively shortly, we're being told by admins and production, so we'll get back into it soon, but this might be another chance to catch the breath for Navi as they need to get 10-5, in my opinion. The way they're playing, I don't know. The way Team Spirit's playing as well, I see no reason for them to slow down on the T side.
Right. And well, I mean, it's just the idea that you wouldn't leave yourself any room for error if you're Navi switching over to the other side. So, yeah, things could get a little bit weird from here on out. They've had some opportunities to catch their breath as well. I think they've used 2 of their 4 timeouts,
yes.
Their pauses, to talk things over and try and figure out what they're encountering. And it still is a pretty one-dimensional solution so far. Palace seems to be the name of the game for Navi to put a round on the board. 2 pot flash attacks from Palace, and obviously that slow creeping one from Simple Electronic in the previous round that netted them 2 kills at the A bomb site. Those are the 3 wins they have. Everywhere else, Team Spirits shut them down, whether it's mid, whether it's at the B bomb site, whether they're playing retake at A. I think that's work is that those plays out Palace. We'll see if they can find another solution, or if they even need to, if they have to. I think the nice thing for Navi is they have enough money in the bank that these last 2 rounds of the half are both full buys. They can, they have the entirety of the playbook available to them to get to 5 if they want it.
That's absolutely true. We know they have the skill, they have the playbook, they have the expertise. They have it all, Jason. Really, they do. Which makes you damn envious, doesn't it? Well, not on this scoreline, that's for sure. B looks to be the hits. Electronic and Perfecto are going to start the charge, and Magic's already forced back inside of the site. Does spot one player crossing in the form of Electronic, and actually wins out that duel by way of a flash assist from Perfecto. He's doubled up as well. The MP9 doing massive work before Simple could finally get in a position to take him down, and it's all on to Dexter. And a 1-on-3 as Bit found a kill off-site. Back over toward A, and Dexter trying to keep this AWP alive. It's a pretty snappy little shot. Gets bit out of the round through the murder hole, but at this point isn't considering a victory in this round itself. Just trying to keep that op up and in play for the next one.
Yeah, a good hit from Navi, switching it up back to the B bomb site. This time, finally, they found success there. The defense looked a little confused. Magix and Mir, I think Mir especially looked uncomfortable with where he's supposed to be looking and what his responsibility was during that hit. Him and Magix seemed to kind of mix it up, and Mir just lost to no man's land, gets picked off for free. He had the AK-47 as well. He was kind of the power point of that defense. Magix did what he could with that SMG, but it wasn't enough. So 10-4, and yeah, you said Navi need to get to 5. They're gonna have a great chance. It's the AWP. It's a FAMAS dropped over. SDY is probably gonna drop down to a FAMAS or an SMG. It's not a pretty investment from Team Spirit on this last round. We'll see what they've got. They've played a good defense. I mean, there's no reason why they can't just steal this one away with how they've been playing.
Bit's gonna work the underpass this time. Perfecto contact B with Electronic and Simple on bomb behind. They seem to be comfortable on this side of the map, given the success in the last round. Mir, once again, though, is playing in that ladder position, which does mean he has a quick rotation back toward Catwalk. But he also gets a good amount of control and read toward what's going on in middle, so might start considering this possibility. Boomich is going to head that direction as well, so could get caught out by it if he's not careful. You hear them. Molotov goes high. Stays on top of the ladder. That gives him the position as Boomich gets the kill, but Magic comes flying back around the corner and makes sure that he makes up for it by getting the kill in response, and it's now down to 4-on-4 bomb. However, has still, as both players were out on Catwalk, gone into the B. They know the site is wide open, and Dexter, way over at A, tries to peer through and catch anyone straggling back toward Catwalk, and he needs to not hold that angle as much as, yes, there is a player in the form of Bit working that direction. He needs to get to the site. He needs to help his teammates get back in. It's round 15. There's no saving. We've got to go straight for the defuse, and it's Electronic at bench that will cover off and play with Perfecto. But Bit's on the flank. Bit's on the flank, and he's made the play. The Bit watch is on as now Magic, has turned it around. How does he find 3 in the site? Nearly gets all 4, but Bit gets the shot in return. This gives Chopper a very slim chance as he works inside. Time ticking. No kit to work with, and Bit has everyone down at his hands, and a brilliant end of the half from him.
That might be the redemption arc in the first half. A really rough first half for Bit. 4 kills in the final round. He's at 3 before it began. But the fact that he wins a round for his team to get to 5, that could be everything. If they mount a comeback based off that, you got to give props to a guy for having that level of impact. What a great lurk.
Magic as well, though. You got to give him credit inside of the site. Holy moly, that was some fast shots to make that even possible. I thought it was done the second the flank came in.
Yeah, well, I didn't think he was going to have any impact. They knew he was there, right? He got that kill traded in ladder room, and it seemed like Navi was really zoned into it, but they just got thrown off. Good shooting, you're right, for Magix. Boomich is going to play a ticket booth. Electronic and Simple and window and connector. Controlling middle for the moment. So will be retake on A. Perfecto has 2 flashbangs and a kit. There's no smoke to put on the bomb. And Boomich now has the information his team needs. Simple has turned to look in this direction as well. Smoke off at top con, and the spam is not connecting as Spirit. They attack towards jungle. They attack towards ladder room, but they get stopped. They get stopped cold right here.
Electronic's going to try and get them forward. Try and get them out of this situation as they wrap around from jungle, and there's nowhere to go for the CTs. Bomb's already ticking on the site, and that's a problem. Or is it? Electronic electrifyingly works his way back in with the USP, but it's Magic again who's trying to pick up where he left off in the last round. 2 already with that P250 before Perfecto says enough is enough, and Navi will get the pistol round to make it 10-6 and take the early momentum. That's both pistols for Navi. This one definitely has to be converted, Jason.
Yeah, they need it in a big way. This is like their avenue. This has got to feel, if you're a Navi player, this is like, okay, if we can win this one, the comeback kind of it rolls out. We've closed the gap. We're close enough. We're within striking distance. It's a great pistol round from Navi. Good protocol on just backing away as soon as they attack towards jungle. Perfect flashbang from Perfecto. Sorry about that. Through the murder hole to be able to allow them to have that retake. Good shooting as well. 6-10, just 4 rounds back. Simple and Boomich over at the A bomb site are about to get some action. Mir's going to lurk in mid, but it's a 2-2 attack on A from Palace and ramp.
Boomich underneath. MP9, a lot of ammo dispelled upon his first victim, and that leaves him defenseless or thereabout against Dagster, but Simple's got the redemption. And just like that, it's the man advantage. Bomb gets planted. I take back the man advantage. Excuse me, SDY still alive on 6 HP. My eyes unable to distinguish that. There's the age again, Jason, as Bit will take down Mir, and Navi looking to convert. Have to get another defuse. 2 bomb plants as well, so the AK's definitely made an impact, but they'll be able to get another buy potentially out of this, as SDY is left with 6, and the round should be done at this point in time. There's kits for Perfecto, or I should say a kit for Perfecto. And he'll get on this relatively soon. Wait for what, Jason? Go on.
No, they were just taking a long time to hop on that defuse, and I'm like, well, all of a sudden,
imagine he pops out and kills the diffuser.
Yeah, I was like, if he just peeks up and gets a little lucky, ooh. I don't think Navi realized that Perfecto, or maybe Perfecto didn't realize he had the only kit. He seemed to be wandering a distance away from the bomb, but does come back to it. Somebody called his attention. And yeah, you're right. The plants are nice. The kills are nice. But Navi have another round in this, and ooh, Team Spirit buying right back up into it. 2 AKs, 3 Galils.
Chopper sneaking out underpass, checking every possible angle, including that of the fence above his head. Spam inside of the smoke. We go back over to Magic and see that he's still just hanging out inside of the kitchen position. Over, Perfecto blinded, but he'll hold his nerve and hold his angle before hearing the flames burst apart at his feet and has to get off the truck. Doesn't want to burn alive. Bit's taking a substantial amount of damage, and they'll know that that's coming from Catwalk. That's going to force them to move, force them to shuffle, but shuffle they shall, and come out on top they will, as Simple gets SDY. It's down to just Degsters. Degging himself out of a hole, but Boomich will put him back in it. 6 feet down, in fact, as it goes 10-8. Navi continuing to close the gap.
Yeah, this is now a 6-0 run for Navi. As unlikely as that sounds, if you go back to the first half, they're right back in things. And if you're Team Spirit, you do not want to start letting Navi build into this game. We mentioned they were going to have to take advantage of some of those weaknesses if Navi shows any of them, and they did that for what, 12 rounds? 13 rounds? Bit, Electronic, and Simple all in mid, and the quick double dink on the only rifle in the hands of Spirit, and it's a slaughter real quick. This Navi defense assertive, taking mid control for themselves.
Yeah, very, very much so. These are the rounds they need just to build up that bank, not lose any guns, and continue to get the confidence going. There was a time in the former days of Navi, the classic Edward, Zeus, Guardian lineup, where tilting was a big factor. Massive factor. I know it's a throwback, but going to like 2015 lands, 2016, even into 2017, you'd see them outside. Every other team would be having their break between maps, and they would just be the most raging team when things didn't go their way. So certainly being able to claw back into these games is something they've improved on with the newer guys, the younger team coming together.
Yeah, that mental game as well is a pretty hard thing to nail down as a team. Keeping your cool and collectively as a unit coming back in games. They've certainly helped each other through it. I mean, keeping their calm and carrying as much weight as possible, while Bit and Boomich kind of brought themselves back into action. Bit's now up to 11 kills, Boomich at 9, where both of them were at one point, what, like 0-6? Maybe 1-7? Wasn't a great start for either of them. Now contributing, and it's reflecting in the scoreboard.
So Simple going to sneak up middle with the smoke down. Has to be very aware and has Electronic to at least cover it off that the underpass position is a probable spot in which an opponent could arrive. Magic. No, there might be about one person in chat that gets this, but he looks a bit like Yoni Tormala. As Mir walks out, Simple will get the shot onto him. So that is 1 kill at top mid, and it is traded because Simple got taken out, and it was Dexter to find that with a return shot. Magic never had to reveal himself, and they'll go back over toward B at this point with 54 seconds. Bit will still cover off on Catwalk, but it's all on Perfecto in the site itself. And there's no guarantee that they're going to commit to this just yet, but with 45 seconds and bomb on that side, I would suggest, Jason, that this is likely where it ends up.
Yeah, you'd think so. Certainly don't have enough of a presence over there to make it a fast rotation. And they're going to be committed. Magic's waiting. Dexter has 2 flashbangs to throw for his teammates. It's all about this entry. Here we go. Dexter launching them out just now. Bit and Perfecto to defend on the other side. Bit's at the pillar, peering towards Catwalk. Now he turns. Good kill. Boomich has gone down. Now he holds Catwalk. Good job from Bit and Dexter. Last one left, 1 versus 3. And that AWP is way too valuable to send into its death. We're all tied up, Matt, 10-10. It didn't seem like this was going to be too likely, but Navi have showed up a little bit late, but they're here.
Honestly, the way some of the rounds of the first half were going, I just thought we were going to have a blowout, and they were going to have to, like, literally reset it between maps.
No, this is good, though. This is great. 8 in a row now for Navi. Hitwatch is on. We're back. The sequel.
It's your favorite show.
My favorite show.
Well, right now the showing is strong from both teams in terms of weapons, although I say that there is still a MAC-10 in the hands of SDY. And the good news is by making that decision, he gets some utility. He gets head armor as well, which with 2 M4s, okay, sure, I'll grant it. But the AK is certainly carried over by Perfecto. Bit electronic, strong against the helmets, as we know. It's like they don't exist.
Assuming this MAC-10 is just going to try and take Catwalk really quickly, try and keep people in mid as much as possible. Fast towards Palace. Simple hears it. He knows they're out. Boomich has 1. Oh, Electronic and Bit combined for more. They were so ready for that. Electronic gets the kill in middle. Simple should be able to get a freebie on a Chopper. He wants a knife, though. You could see him consider it. And so quickly, it's all just down to Dexter. And once again, he's got to back away. This time, he's got to find a way to survive for 1 minute and 20 seconds. With Simple hunting him down.
I don't think, yeah, Simple's all too smart on this one, gets the kill there, but yeah. A knife, Simple, sure, absolutely, he's the player to do it, but I think the way that this game has gone, probably just let that one slide a bit this time.
Well, you say that. He's had another pretty big knife attempt in a Cologne match.
Yep, he did, that's right. Nitro will never forget.
Wild times.
That was foolish. That was insane. Like, could have easily wrapped the match up and then just go on to overtime.
It's another chapter in the legend that is Simple.
That's, you know what? That's almost similar to the 1G, right? Because that was another game that they should have won it right then and there, and then they go on in overtime and lose it. Like that was Simple's equivalent.
Here you go, set piece out of the A bomb site. Simple's got the first. Boomich hiding in the cubby. Oh, and he's dropped by a very fast-firing Tech-9. Simple's got to back away. A little bit of damage into a 4-on-4, and Navi's going to play the retake. They've got a lot of utility. Molotov, 4 smokes, flashbangs, and 2 HEs to use when they eventually pull the trigger. Although Spirit hasn't committed quite yet.
Simple's certainly committed to an angle at least. Electronic will not get in his way just yet. He'll let Simple take the opening shot before swinging toward the site. Electronic Simple doesn't need that time. Bit's got the kill instead, but Dexter nearly gets 2 back. Nearly gets 2 back as Simple was taking damage before he fired in with the AWP and won the duel. But the rotation from Chopper back toward middle leaves Bit and he in a battle on Catwalk that Bit will win. And Mir, the only one left alive, is Simple and Co. and Perfecto with the nade will take a 2-round lead on the Navi side as they get the defuse.
Oh, this is not good. This is, you gotta be nervous if you're Spirit. That seemed like a pretty decent round for them. Took a while to get in, and Navi came up with a plan. If Spirit's not gonna plant the bomb, Navi talks all the way through it and decides to move on the bomb tap. Good shooting from Simple as well. Bit did a great job in middle. We didn't see his second kill. This one right here. He's very slow and very cautious in middle. I believe he heard that footstep before he turned the corner, was able to find the battle he wanted. Bits in window. Simple's naded at the bottom of con stairs. He's got an AWP. Molotov to force them out into the open, gives Simple a shot that he can't land. And with that attempt, Navi's going to back away from mid presence.
SDY will also do the same, though, on the other side, as he doesn't want to go all the way through the underpass just yet. Bomb again waits outside of the B apartments, and no pressure on A. And here comes top mid take from the T's. With SDY slowly lurking up, Simple's going to be watching down below the crossfire setup. So even if Simple finds one and they think they can rush it down and trade him out, they'll have the backup of Electronic, who's sitting on the left side, sitting with an M4. There we go. Perfect look at both positions. Simple gets the first. Now the wrap. Magic's going to want to try and sneak. No. Sorry, I meant swing. He is going to sneak. I thought he would go quickly for that kill in return, but now they put a self-smoke out in retreat, and the CTs buy themselves a bit of space, and as a result of that as well, Team Spirit will leave middle and go back through the spawn.
Yeah, they wanted nothing to do with that. Once Simple's op was there, they're like, hell no. We'll just back off. Just chill, bro. Electronic's going to be over in jungle. Boomich is playing retake a ticket. And this time, Spirit can't be slow and calculated. There's 22 seconds and not a lot of utility. Smoke's going to go down. Flashbangs will go over the wall, and they have to get this bomb planted ASAP. Actually, excuse me. No flash comes out, and that's going to cost them. That's going to cost them 2 lives. No smoke, no flashes on the entrance. They try and get clever, and it's backfired. They can't even get the bomb planted. And they might just lose both players after the time. Excuse me, I mean, ooh.
No,
nope,
you're right.
They're in trouble. I was right.
Yep, you definitely were right. The bomb did not get planted in time. That was about as close as it could be. But they don't lose the players, thankfully. They do stay alive, so the money is not a factor because they keep the guns in some ways.
Oh, no. How has this happened? This is 11-0 run.
Massive, and I think the fact that you actually called a few things and then had to catch yourself just speaks volumes about things that weren't being done that should have been, right? I mean, it seemed like obvious things. Use flashbangs, use utility. Just didn't happen that round.
But that's what makes these matchups to me so weird. Like the CIS teams when they play each other, like I feel like there's so many like small risks being taken with contact plays, with not using utility at certain points, and that's just one of them that we see where it turns out on the bad side. But we've seen a number of times throughout this event, throughout this group stage, where those kind of risks pay off in a big way, and it delivers a huge win.
Boomich then with the M4. Holding out at triple, and they are pushing in. He's going to be aware of that. His teammates give him the call. He swings extra wide. Does get SDY before Dexter got the shot in return. So a decent setup in that regard because they're able to get the trades, and there was nothing going on from mid, from connector, because the smoke was still down, and Mir's able to find the kill. Bits low. Molotov actually pushes him back. If Mir had his gun ready, that would have been a swing and a trade and a done deal. But now he's just going to try and take this into a straight fight. Bomb still down. Tagged again is Bit. He loses half of the 26 HP that he had. And rather than hold from inside of jungle, he wants to get into connector. He wants to close down this angle. Plants will go safely toward the balcony instead and be therefore visible from a swing and a peek by Mir at main. And Bit's going to be well aware of that situation as he already starts looking that direction. But is the question right or is it left in Tetris? Mir goes all the way back around. Smoke on it. Tap as well. This will bait out some shots because he's going to have to put shots toward the site, and that's exactly what Bit wanted. He outplays Mir with his mind, and then the aim gets the job done. Navi find 14 and continue this run.
Yeah, he knew Mir was going to have to respect it. I thought he would have picked up the AWP way earlier. What a great clutch from Bit. And remember, we mentioned a really rough start for him and Boomich, but Bit has found his way back into this game. First, the 4 kill. And the final round of that first half, the 4K on the retake, that was a thing of brilliance, and this clutch is huge as well. He's come alive, and Navi is powered up. Bit's now got 15K.
That was sick. I love it. Forces him to have to shoot the smoke, reveal his exact position. This is a fast round, as already we have 4 kills to report. SDY and Mir are dead on one side, and we tragically report that Bit and Simple have fallen if you're a Navi fan. So, commiserations to those four. But for a minute and 30 seconds, the remaining players, the 6 of them, will carry this on. A nade may change that, though, as Perfecto takes down Magix behind box.
Oh,
Dexter could do nothing.
Navi just got into the great positions. Boomich has pushed down A ramp. He can see all the way into T-spawn. He's a lot of information, and this is a huge safety net of a position if they go to the A bomb site. Perfecto and ladder room obviously very strong, but Electronic as well pushed into upper B. So he's got an early spotting and a tough position to clear out, and a tough position to know if they get to enter the B bomb site. But for now, it's all on Perfecto. Looking the wrong way at the wrong time. He's done good damage to both.
1-2 then, as Electronic is low, 14 HP, but able to get in position to catch out the bomb, catch out the immediate kill on Chopper, and then it's just a grenade to get map point from Navi. I did not suspect that we would find ourselves here.
This is so crazy. 13 rounds in a row for Navi out of nowhere. They looked beaten in that first half. They looked so demoralized. All right. Well, Spirit, they need 5 straight to force overtime, and they're going to start it out with a heavy play towards the B bomb site. They don't want mid control. They don't want any presence over at A. And unfortunately, they're going right at Simple's AWP. An adjustment from the Navi defense might deliver a map victory.
Highly possible that it could. Shot from Simple, unsuccessful on the first attempt. He's got support from Perfecto, but that flash actually, I think, went too far. No, that was Dexter's flash, so it was a good throw from Team Spirit, but the rotation's already in position. The crossfire too strong, and it's down to just poor man Dexter. What a turnaround in that series. What a comeback from Navi. That's more like it.
That's going to be, I think if you're a Spirit after that map, you're scratching your head and you're like, what the hell just happened? They got like just clean sweep out of the server. 14 rounds in a row for Navi to take that map victory after an atrocious start to the game. So fair play to Navi for bouncing back in that fashion. What a great recovery from Bit. Simple delivering all along the way, Electronic delivering all along the way, but the comeback began when Bit and Boomich showed up in the server.
Yeah, absolutely it did. And Bit was massive on it. We talked about it late in the first half, had that flank that came in, looked solid in that situation. Great clutch with that smoke down, but yes, once he started finding kills, once there was some support, once there was a full team, Navi had a full win. They had, I think that was, what, 14 rounds in a row, we said? Well, that's pretty impressive. We'll send it back over to the panel to break that one down and figure out what the heck went wrong, or what went right, depending on how you look at that game.